Information that we're online. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Thursday, the 11th of January, 2024. Welcome to the subcommittee meeting of the Audit and Governance meeting. First of all, we have to do the election of chair. Could I have any proposals or nominations for chair of this meeting?
I propose Councillor Cocking.
Seconded.
Thank you. Therefore, I will take chair of this meeting. Right. As I say, welcome to this meeting of a subcommittee. Do I have any apologies for absence?
No, Chair.
Thank you. Any declarations of interest from councillors?
No.
Thank you. And this is item 4, is hearing the subcommittee terms of reference, and it's a Dorset councillor member complaints process. Everyone happy with that, councillors? Do we have any urgent items today?
No, Chair.
And item 6 is to consider whether we make this meeting exempt or as a public meeting. Can I have any comments or suggestions from councillors? Councillor Gray?
I don't think it should be exempt. My personal view was that the risk or the anonymity of the officers and the people concerned is outweighed by the need for it to be an open and transparent process. So, vote on that. My vote would be to not go into exempt.
I totally agree with you, Councillor Gray. Councillor Baxton?
And I would agree.
Okay, so this meeting will be a public meeting and it will be live streamed. Can members, councillors and all those involved in the meeting, that there is reference to staff members of Dorset Council, so can you please address it as they are in the report as A, B and C, and refrain from using any person's names that relate to the staff. So first of all, I would like to do some introductions. I'm Councillor Susan Cocking. I am a Portland councillor and also a Dorset councillor and member of the Audit and Government Committee and Vice Chair of that committee. To my left, I have
Councillor David Gray, Councillor for Radipole in Weymouth, and I'm also a member of the Audit and Governance Committee.
Councillor Pauline Backstone, Blackmore Ward and member of the Audit and Governance Committee.
Councillor whose complaint is member. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Councillor Bill Hyde.
Someone with you, would they like to introduce themselves or not? No. Okay. Would you like
Elizabeth Watley, the independent person under the Localism Act.
Okay. Jackie Gooding from Cyprus Audit Partnership Investigating Officer. And I note that we have 3 Dorset councillors. Would they like to introduce themselves?
Yeah, Councillor Nick Ireland, I represent Crossways Ward.
Councillor S5, representing Dorset West.
Councillor Claire Sutton, Rodwell and White.
And we have our legal officer. Yeah, thank you, Chair. My name is Lisa Kirkman. I'm with the law firm BWB here as legal advisor to the committee this morning. And our clerk for this meeting is?
Yes, Chris Howard, Senior Democratic Services Officer.
Thank you. As I say, please be mindful of using names that are in the report, that aren't in the report, but either referred to as A, B and C. Right. I would like now first to ask Councillor Pipe if he would like to outline his position as in this report and make some comments.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know whether to call her A, B, C or what, but the lady I spoke to in a fake Irish accent I've known for perhaps 8, maybe 9 years, and I've always greeted her as a friend in a fake Irish accent. She's never complained to me. She's never complained to the leader of the council. She's never complained to a line manager if she had one, and she's never complained to a superior officer about my greeting her in a fake Irish accent. Had I known that my doing this would offend her, belittle her, I would have stopped immediately and apologised. I'm not a nasty person. If she'd have come to me and said, "Oh, Bill, I'd rather you didn't do that," then I would, of course, would not have carried on doing it. But as she hadn't complained, I thought she was taking it in the spirit in which it was meant, in a jovial, happy sort of way. And it's pretty sad that it's actually got to this stage. I did draft an apology to her, which I sent to Gary Stuttle just to put his eye over it. I'm not sure whether you have a copy of that. Do you?
Have the content.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't need to read that or anything. Do I? Well, I will.
It's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
It's for you to outline what your position is on this.
So the apology reads, having known you for 8 or 9 years and worked with you at district, county and unitary level, I have almost always addressed you in a fake Irish accent, not to belittle you or to offend you, but in a humorous way. As you have never complained to me or to anyone else during that time, I assumed, brackets, wrongly as it happens, close brackets, that you took it in the manner that it was addressed to you and not in an offensive way. For this, I am genuinely and deeply sorry. I also apologise unreservedly for my comments to you after I greeted you on Monday by pointing out that I was speaking in an English accent. We have worked successfully together for many years and I would like this to continue. So can we draw a line under this sorry episode and resume a more professional relationship together? Yours most sincerely, Bill. There are other accusations, some which I don't recognise, mimic the Irish accents of parents. Don't know where that comes from. Told a homophobic joke, made an inappropriate comment about a visible panty line. I've nothing to say on those. Thank you, Chairman.
Anything further you wish to add at this point?
Not on this point, no.
Next, we would go on to the investigating officer, which is Jackie. And would you like to present Kate and your report?
Yes, thank you, Chair. And firstly, I know you've all had an opportunity to read the report, so I'm not going to read it in entirety, but I'm going to point out some key elements of the report for you. So just to clarify, a complaint was received jointly from Councillor Nick Ireland, Councillor Les Fry and Councillor Claire Sutton on the 26th of July 2023, raising concerns about the conduct of Councillor Pipe. Further concern was raised on the 2nd of October 2023 by the Council's monitoring officer, again in relation to Councillor Pipe's conduct. The complaint and further concern are documented in section 3 of my report. I was asked to investigate the concerns under the Code of Conduct arrangements for councillors, and to ensure a thorough investigation, I reviewed relevant documents, video recordings and meetings. I met virtually with members and officers. The names of 3 individuals interviewed have been withheld for reasons of anonymity. I am satisfied that these individuals remaining anonymous does not impact on the evidence they provided or the investigation itself. Their interview records have been anonymised accordingly. You will see in section 4 of the report the facts that are not disputed, and in section 5 of the report the facts and statements not agreed. The main body of the report, section 6, sets the findings of the investigation. I have provided a conclusion where applicable for each finding. In summary, my key conclusions, where the evidence substantiates the concerns raised, are mimicry of an Irish accent to an officer. Councillor Pipe mimicked the Irish accent of interviewee A at the Children's Services Extended Leadership Team, and not interviewee A at the People and Health Scrutiny Committee meeting by making a point to the individual that he was speaking in an English accent. On both occasions, the comments were directed to the same person, interviewee A. I can also conclude that Councillor Pipe discussed where interviewee A parked their car, and in joke gave the impression that he would steal the car parking space. Councillor Pipe's actions have made interviewee A feel humiliated and intimidated in his presence. The mimic of the Irish accent and the comment made at the People and Health Scrutiny Committee are not disputed by Councillor Pipe. Councillor Pipe did write an apology after the incident of the People, Health and Scrutiny Committee meeting on the 11th of September 2023, and this apology was shared with Councillor Suttle and Councillor Flower. The apology, however, was not sent to interviewee A or Teresa Levy, the Executive Director of Children's Services, as was suggested to Councillor Pipe by Councillor Flower, and therefore I conclude that Councillor Pipe did not make an apology. Lead Member for Education. On the balance of probability, I can conclude that although not formally stated in the reason for Councillor Pipe's resignation, the behaviour of Councillor Pipe at the Children's Services Extended Leadership Team was a significant factor in Councillor Pipe resigning from the role of Lead Member for Education. In relation to harassment and bullying, I can conclude that Councillor Pipe's comments and behaviour amount to bullying and harassment, as Councillor Pipe's actions are directed to one individual, making the individual feel intimidated and offended. I can also conclude that although Councillor Pipe does not view his actions in this way, there is a perceived racist element to his actions.
Pipe, would you please keep the comment to yourself? The investigator, because you're reading her report, it's fully reserved. Would you like to carry on, Jackie?
There was one concern raised in the complaint where I did not consider the evidence was conclusive. This was in relation to the full council meeting on the 13th of July 2023, and whether the issue with a briefcase and the wearing of the orange tie demonstrates that Councillor Pipe had an issue with Irish people. Whilst both definitely took place, I cannot conclude that the actions were intentional. I can, however, confirm that the actions at our meeting did make interviewee A uncomfortable, even if this was not the intention. There was also no evidence to support the allegation that Councillor Pipe made an inappropriate comment about a visible panty line during the Children's Services Extended Leadership Team meeting, and therefore this cannot be substantiated. I have also highlighted in section 6.8 other matters for consideration for the hearing subcommittee that were not raised in the original complaint or further concern, but came to my notice during the investigation. Two of these matters demonstrate Councillor Pipe's lack of awareness of the use of language that is considered unacceptable, and one highlights the seriousness of Councillor Pipe's actions and behaviour, resulting in the Chief Executive taking appropriate steps to protect colleagues by restricting Councillor Pipe's access to County Hall and other council offices. To finish, on concluding my investigation, and based on the evidence provided and gathered during the investigation, I am of the view that Councillor Pipe's actions have fallen below the minimum standards of conduct expected from a councillor. It is my opinion that Councillor Pipe has breached the code of conduct for councillors for two standards: respect and bullying and harassment. I also considered the members and officers protocol and conclude that Councillor Pipe has breached the principles 1.2b and e of the protocol. Councillor Pipe did state in interview that he does not see his actions as offensive, but did accept in retrospect that he had breached the code of conduct, but said this was not intentional or malicious. In my view, Councillor Pipe has failed to see how his actions and behaviour have been received, the effect of stress and humiliation his actions have caused to one officer, as well as the impact of other officers within the team. Following conclusion of the report being sent to Councillor Pipe did respond to the investigation report to say that he did reluctantly accept the finding. That concludes my summary of the investigation report. Thank you.
Councillor Pipe, would you like to ask any questions of the investigating officer? Councillor, would you like to ask questions of the investigating officer?
Next.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Councillor Pike, can I just ask one
I'm
point?
not the investigating officer.
Okay. Yes, okay. I'll wait then. I'll wait. Sorry.
Keep up.
Councillor Pipe, would you like to state your case
On what, Chairman?
on what the investigating officer has said?
I welcome her findings on the so-called visible panty line and a couple of other things that you mentioned. As for having a problem with Irish people, I have no problem whatsoever with Irish people at all. My family lived in Ireland from 1803 till 1922, so I am of Irish extraction. I just don't have a problem with Irish people, whether Protestant, Catholic, or other. And, you know, to find that I have a problem with Irish people is absolutely ridiculous, in my view.
The company would be available. Do you have any written? You want to hold?
No, John. That's it. Thank you. I'll take that as
I think Councillor Pipe is deeply sorry. I think Huddy, he's not a nasty person. I've known him for quite a long time. Huddy realised that he was causing the person stress, and had they complained at any point, I'm sure he'd have stopped. I can vouch for the fact that he's not anti-Irish and that he doesn't have a problem with Irish people in any respect, having known him for some time. I suspect that his sense of humour comes from his time in the services, and it's probably not appropriate in this day and age, and that perhaps some training might be possible that will modify those views, but he remains a very good councillor. He's very well thought of in his ward, and I think it's very sad that it's come to this.
Thank you.
Jackie, as the investigating officer, would you like to make any questions, please?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to clarify a point, really, Councillor Pipe. You said that you don't have a problem with Irish people, and I think in my report I've drawn that out, say that you couldn't demonstrate that.
Could you just repeat a bit about the car park?
No, it's more about the way that you address yourself to that individual rather than generally.
If this thing had been going on for so long, why was nothing said to me previously?
I'm afraid I'm not able to answer
That's the bit I don't get. Investigating officer, you know, and we've always had a very amicable relationship in the workplace, and I wouldn't say socially because I don't know her socially, but in passing. So why has it taken 8 years or so for this to come through, and why did it take 11 weeks for my 3 colleagues over there to decide they were going to complain about me? Perhaps I could answer that one.
Is
Is it for somebody to answer though?
It's the investigating officer has stated what her report is and her findings from that report and her findings.
Yeah,
from
I get that,
the
Chairman. Thank
witnesses.
you.
Anything else, Jackie, you would like to?
No, nothing else, thank you, Chair.
Members of the subcommittee you may ask questions of the councillor.
I'd like to ask a question, please.
Mm-hmm.
Could we, I'm a little bit confused about the progress of the apology. You wrote an apology.
Yes, I did.
You said that you handed it or passed it to
Gary Sutton.
Councillor Suttle. What was the purpose of passing it to Gary Suttle?
I just wanted to see
Just-
the wording and perhaps note the sincerity of the apology.
And where did it go after there?
I was under the impression that Councillor Suttle was going to forward that to witness A.
Yeah.
And possibly another witness whose number I don't recall at the moment.
So you thought Councillor Suttle? was
Yeah,
going
he
to
thought I
back
was
to
doing
it.
it. So the eventuality was that it never got sent, although there was every intention to send it.
So your intention was to send it, but that wasn't clarified with Councillor Suttle, and that's where it is.
No, unfortunately, it wasn't clarified, and Councillor Sutton was there thinking that I've sent it. I'm sat there thinking that Councillor Sutton was sent it, but unfortunately, it never got sent. So, although I did not make the apology in the strictest terms, I was under the impression for some time that I did actually make that apology, contrary to what the investigating officer states.
Thank you.
Technically, I didn't.
Thank you.
I had every intention of.
I did, yes. Trying to keep up, Councillor Prime. I'm the original. You talked about talking to person A you've known for a long time, and you've always said this, and it's never been a problem before. I sort of understand that. What I'm struggling with is between the then first complaint, which was specified in here, and then the second time that you I want to know whether you knew a complaint was pending when the second time you said good morning everybody, that you talked in an English accent when you were in a meeting. So between the first and the second time, did you know that a complaint had been made about the first instance? Because it sort of suggests the second time that you said good morning, I'm saying this in an English accent, it's sort of adding insult to it, really. And I'm just interested, did you know?
Yeah, I get that. I had I'll stick with the. I had an inkling that there was something was afoot, but the time that I was. If you could bear with me,
Yes, okay.
Councillor. Was
It was on the 11th of September, the second incident.
Yeah.
Good morning, interview EA. Hope I didn't say that in an Irish accent.
well, up until the 19th of October, I wasn't officially aware that a complaint had been
Yes,
put in, which was after both incidents.
yes.
Not. I had not received an email from Democratic Services, the monitoring officer, or anybody. The first I knew about it was when South West Audit Partnership called me for interview. I hadn't deleted any emails on my phone or my council laptop. I still have them all on there, and it's a huge number. Just waiting for somebody to go through and check, but nobody did check because the computer says yes. The computer says yes, it sent the email, which in their mind automatically thinks, well, not thinks, dictates that I received the email, which I did not. I categorically state that I did not receive the email telling me of a complaint.
But if you had an inkling,
So, no.
sorry to go back to the original question, which was, if you had an inkling after the first time, I mean, you know, you've said it for so many years, as you've stated, you've got an inkling that perhaps they may have taken that the wrong way. Saying and sort of pointing out that you're speaking in an English accent, did you not think that was going to make it worse? In hindsight, I guess.
But in hindsight, yes. Yes, I did.
Okay.
And as soon as I said it, I was proud.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got a question. Did you not think that being, as you were made lead member for education, and it's a high-profile directorate and high-profile role, and that you would already been removed from the police and crime panel for inappropriate comment in October 2020, do you not think that mimicking an office that, even though you've done it for so many years, that behaviour from a lead member should be more expected, more acceptable behaviour, rather than mimicking and joking in that way at a meeting? Did you not think that your behaviour was inappropriate then?
No.
Because you're basically highlighting someone.
Ethnicity.
Yeah. But do you not think, as a lead member in a high profile role, and you'd already been removed from one post because of inappropriate comment, did you not think that perhaps your behaviour should be a little bit more appropriate?
Well, you say I was removed. Can you show me how I was removed?
Well, I'm only just reading what was in the report. It was, you were removed from the police and crime panel for inappropriate comment, and that was back in 2020. I'm just thinking that, you know, nowadays your people's behaviour, especially in councils, is much more highlighted, and we are live streamed as we are now. And do you not think that your behaviour should tailor that the role that you were put into by the leader of the council?
Yeah, I would agree with that. But as it was the norm, you know, something that happened monthly, weekly, whatever, for 8 or 9 years. It was no different. It wasn't a different day to me.
Councillor, do you have any more questions?
No.
Chair, any advice?
There's no role for the complainants. For the complainants in these code of conduct matters, they make the complaint and then it's past the investigating officer and they may interview you, but there's not, in terms of the hearing for the subject member, there's no role for the complainants unless called as witnesses by the investigating officer.
That was going to be my question. So I have no right to speak unless
called as a witness. Yeah,
absolutely fine. Yeah, absolutely fine.
Right. So in summing up, unless anyone's got any more questions, I will ask the investigating officer, Jackie, to sum up the complaint.
Okay, and thank you, Chair. I'll just clarify one point first before I do that. Just to clarify, I know Councillor Piper said that he did not receive a notification of the complaint, but in your report pack, you'll see under DCO 16 that an email was sent to Councillor Piper on the 3rd of August 2023, informing him that a complaint had been received.
Can I reply to that?
I will allow it, so it's for transparency that everyone has got everyone feels that they've stated their case, whether it's the investigating officer and yourself.
Well, the investigating officer says I've received that email. I would like you to prove that. I would like you to prove that I received that email, please.
Have the evidence that it was sent to
You have no evidence that I received it, do you?
you. You said that you
Do you have any evidence that I received it?
looked at your computer log.
Do you have any evidence?
To Pipe, I think the investigating officer has already answered the question that she's got the evidence that it was sent.
Which is not evidence that I
Well,
received it,
I think she's,
Chairman, with respect.
you've stated your case, you've not received it. The investigating officer stated the case that it was sent.
Okay.
We have to leave it at that, otherwise we'd be here all day. But, Jackie, if you'd like to carry on.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. So just in summary, really, and following on from my summary report earlier, just to say that I'm hearing comments today from Councillor Pipe. My view and my conclusion has not changed. I still conclude that based on the evidence gathered during the investigation, that Councillor Pipe's actions have fallen below the minimum standards of conduct set for a councillor. In my opinion, that Councillor Pipe has breached the code of conduct. Councillors have two standards: respect and bullying and harassment. And I also consider that Councillor Pipe has breached the member and officers protocol in relation to principles 1.2d and 1.2e. Thank you.
Would you like to sum up?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Firstly, thank you all for being here today. We have better things to do. I do accept that my actions have fallen below the standards expected of a councillor in respect of the code of conduct and the protocols, office protocols. Had I known that what I was doing was disrespectful, harmful, well, it wasn't vindictive, I would have stopped. But it was done in a jocular manner. I'm a happy-go-lucky type of person. For those who know me would recognise that. 25 years in the armed forces obviously doesn't do me any favours at council, but you know, I apologise absolutely, totally, sincerely for the actions that are outlined here, and I mean it. And I've learned a great deal. It's not been an easy six months or so for me with this hanging over me. It's affected my mental health. I'm now clinically depressed. My relationships with my family have suffered. A single parent of 3, the youngest being 10, and you know, I've really tried hard to keep it together, but at times it's not been at all easy. I'm sincerely sorry for what I've done and for bringing the council into disrepute. Absolutely wouldn't have done it if things were different. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pipe. I just checked with our legal advisor that we've covered everything.
Chair, yes, I do believe that we have done, and the subject member has had this opportunity to sum up. So absolutely, Chair.
Okay. So now we will that is the case before the subcommittee. We will vote to go into exempt to make our decision.
Second.
Yeah. So that concludes this first part of the meeting. We will go into exempt. We will make our decision, and then that will be communicated and published as well.
Yeah, indeed, Chair. So, Chair, depending on the views of the members, we can adjourn the meeting to discuss your decision and reconvene the meeting in order to, sorry, bear with me, in order to communicate to the room, and then you may consider any other further steps as may be necessary, or you may choose to adjourn the meeting and the written, as per your process, your written decision will be communicated within 5 days. So, Chair, that is a matter for you and your committee in terms of which way you would like to do that.
We'll have a proposal for
I would adjourn and reconvene because it's been going on long enough. You know, the extra 5 days and all that sort of pain that goes with that. I would happily settle it today.
Councillor Blackstone, are you happy to?
Adjourn and reconvene.
Yeah.
So we will adjourn the meeting and we will reconvene in
11 o'clock.
and we reconvene the meeting at 11 o'clock. For those who wish to come back for the decision. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. Okay, thank you everyone, and we have reconvened. Sorry for the slight delay. The subcommittee has reached their decision, and this is the decision. We, the subcommittee, find that Councillor Pipe has breached the Code of Conduct and Member Officer Protocol. We find that Councillor Pipe failed to treat officers with respect, firstly at the Children's Services Extended Team meeting on the 10th of May, and further at the People Health and Scrutiny Committee on the 11th of September. We are appalled at the lack of respect shown at these meetings and the mocking that was suffered by a member of staff. We further find that Councillor Pipe's behaviour amounted to bullying and harassment. His behaviour was offensive and not acceptable in any circumstance. As a subcommittee, we can only apologise to that member of staff and confirm to that officer and all officers that no one should be subjected to that treatment. In finding breaches of the code, Councillor Pipe, the sanctions imposed by this subcommittee are, firstly, to send a written apology to Teresa Levy, to share with her staff, and we will leave to Teresa whether she wishes to share with any officers who have since left the authority. Secondly, that Councillor Pipe, you should undertake external and tailored equality, diversity and inclusion training to be determined by the monitoring officer. In addition to a mentor being put in place to offer ongoing guidance and support. This decision will be confirmed in writing and a decision notice posted on the council website. This now concludes this hearing and the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you for everyone for attending the meeting today.
Are you only adjourning, Chairman?
Oh no, sorry.
It's closed.
It's closed. Sorry, I put the wrong word at the end of the report. This meeting is now closed.